Welcome back to Moonymakes. My name is Callie, and today we are going to be making a banana cake. So if you love banana bread, you are going to love this cake. It's moist, it's fluffy, it's soft. We're going to have a chocolate frosting with some hints of mocha that we're going to add later, and it is delicious, and I can't wait to share this recipe with you. So let's get right into it, but before we begin, as always, please remember to subscribe, like, share, chat in the comment section, and follow me on social media for more recipes and additional content. So let's get right into it. These are the ingredients that we are going to be using. I have some brown sugar, granulated sugar, buttermilk, some extra virgin olive oil. If you don't want to use olive oil, you could substitute any kind of neutral oil. So canola oil, vegetable oil will do the trick. I have a little bit of vanilla, salt, 1 egg, some finely mashed bananas. The older, the uglier, the better. And here I have some all-purpose flour, baking powder, baking soda, and I have a combination of spices. So I'm going to be using cinnamon, nutmeg, and a little bit of ground allspice. You could use any kind of like warm pumpkin pie spices. I'm thinking ground cardamom, ginger, whatever you have, whatever you like will do the trick. So let's get right into it. First things first, get your oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Mine is nice and hot and ready to go. And let's get to it. The first thing that we're gonna do, actually, I'm gonna keep this here, is we're gonna combine all of our dry ingredients. So our flour, baking powder, baking soda, our spices. And to this, whoopsies, I'm gonna throw in my salt, some kosher salt, and I'm just gonna give this a quick mix to combine. So this will just take a quick second. I love this cake so much. It's a little bit more like a snacking cake. We're gonna bake this in an 8x8 inch pan. And I think it's wonderful if you don't need like a big 2-layer cake. It's better for a smaller crowd. And I just love it so much. And you don't have to worry about frosting a 2 or 3-layer cake. So I think it's a little bit easier as well. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside for now. Now I'm gonna grab both types of sugar. To this, I'm gonna add in my extra virgin olive oil. I love using extra virgin olive oil in cakes. It's gonna provide a really beautiful, moist, soft texture. And you're not gonna taste it. We have so many other like spices and flavors going on. You're not gonna taste the olive oil. You shouldn't substitute olive oil for just any and all baking recipes, but in this one, it does work. So if you wanna use it, go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna whisk this until it's nice and combined. Okay, this looks good. So next I'm gonna go in with my egg along with the vanilla. And I'm just gonna, again, give this a whisk to combine. Okay, so in go my dry ingredients along with the buttermilk. You always need to be adding buttermilk to cakes. I mean, not really, but I do because it gives the perfect texture. So I'm gonna give this a whisk. Okay, so this looks good. Before we continue, I'm gonna take my spatula and I'm just gonna run it around the bottom and the sides of the pan just to ensure all the ingredients are nice and incorporated. And like with any cake, you don't wanna overmix. So as soon as all the ingredients are combined, stop whisking because you don't want the cake to be tough, which will happen if you overmix it. So that looks good. Next, I'm gonna throw in the bananas and see how quick that was. That took no time to make at all. So fast. And like I said earlier, assembling the cake with the frosting is gonna take no time also. I've made a mess over here, so sorry about that, but that's okay. Okay, so this looks good. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna clean up, grab my pan, and then we're gonna bake this. Okay, so we are back. I have my 8x8 inch pan right here that I just buttered generously, lined with parchment paper to ensure nothing sticks. And now I'm just gonna add all of the batter into the pan. And like I said earlier, my oven is already preheated at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It's nice and hot and ready to go. We're gonna bake this cake for about 30 minutes. You'll know when it's finished baking when you insert a knife or a skewer into the center and it comes out clean or with a few crumbs. So I'm gonna bake this, let this cake cool completely, and then we're gonna work on the frosting. So I'll see you then. Okay, so we are back. My cake baked for exactly 35 minutes and it is ready to go. It is cooled completely. It is very important that your cake cool completely before beginning the frosting, okay? Because what's gonna happen if you try to frost a cake that's not completely cooled is the frosting is gonna get really liquidy, it's gonna melt, and it's gonna be a disaster. That's the easiest way to screw up the cake. So be sure to cool your cake completely. Okay, so let's get going on the frosting. And for this mocha chocolate frosting, we are gonna need some powdered sugar, cocoa powder, softened butter. It's very important that your butter is very, very soft. I have some milk. You could also use heavy cream with a little bit of vanilla. And I have about a tablespoon of coffee. So you could just reserve the coffee that you had in the morning, just reserve a little bit of it. Just be sure it's cooled and it's not hot before going to the mixture. If you don't have coffee, if you didn't reserve any coffee, You could omit the coffee completely, or you could do what I do sometimes, which is get a tablespoon of water, mix it with like a 1/4 teaspoon of some instant coffee, warm it up, let the granules dissolve, and then let it cool down completely before adding it into the frosting. So let's get right into it. What we're gonna do now is literally just add all of the ingredients and give it a whisk until it's nice and smooth and creamy. Okay, so this is looking amazing. So next up, I'm going to frost the cake, and then I'm gonna give you a close-up of just how absolutely amazing and moist and fluffy this banana cake really is. Okay, so we are back. I hope you enjoyed that close-up, but most importantly, I hope you enjoy this cake, which I'm so confident that you will. So, as always, for the full written recipe and instructions, head to my blog, moonymakesrecipes.com. I'll put the link for that in the description box below. Click on the link and the recipe will come right up. And make this banana cake. I promise you're gonna love it. And let me know what you think, because I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.